everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Eugene Talk Football. I hope all of you are doing well today. What are you all keeping up with? There's the Olympics because there's not been football action, but just a few weeks away, and there will be the leagues will commence. But before then, I hope you're all keeping up with the Olympics, and I believe that there's a lot of events going on there that will keep people very, very busy, and there are interesting events in the Olympics as well. I hope you all are checking out there and seeing what is going on out there, and I hope everyone is doing well and in good health. Thanks for being a part of this channel. Please do us a favor, smash the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell. Thank you very much. Let's get cracking. Today we've been talking about Arsenal in the last couple of days, and today it's not gonna be an exception, but we'll be looking critically at the striking department. There's a famous terminology in football that defense wins titles and attacks wins games, and rightly so. Arsenal has the best, arguably the best defensive mix in the Premier League, and rightly so. We were the first. We had the best defense last season, only conceding 29 goals. So I can say that our defense was not the reason we conceded the Premier League title to Man City last season. So definitely, what there's a reporter on Talksport I was watching last night, and they said there's a question that what does Arsenal need to do to win the title this season? And he said Arsenal need to be perfect. Perfection. We need to be perfect. It means in all areas. Of course, we've had a very good defensive setup, even with the addition of another bright talent in Ricardo Calafiori. That's a department we've strengthened, and that's no doubt about that. That's a very good job from Mikel Arteta. But there's bound to be strength in depth in every department of a squad, and that's what makes a team perfect. If you have to be perfect, there must be strength in depth in every department of your team squad. We've been talking about Arsenal's defense for quite a while. We talked about the midfield. Of course, there's the imminent addition of Mikel Merino if all things go well, because if there's no confirmation from both parties, now there's nothing to say about transfers, because of course we've been linked with Merino. There's been contacts, there's been talks, there's been negotiations, but nothing has happened as of now. So we just have to wait. So of course Emil Smith Rowe has left the club, and you can say that Mikel Merino potentially could be a replacement for Emil Smith Rowe. Is that strength in depth in the midfield? That's a discussion for another day. I just want to focus solely on the striking department for Arsenal this season. I'm not saying that there is the possibility that Arsenal will sign a striker this season, but we're just looking at the possible striking options out there in the market, and yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. And there are rumors with links, speculation about players who have been linked, strikers who have been linked with moves to Arsenal, but nothing is concrete, as we always say. And first on my list is Alexander Isak. I will say that Alexander Isak is the most sought after player in the Premier League, if not in the world right now. And this player suits perfectly well to Mikel Arteta's system. Now, what qualities does Isak possess? He's very good with the ball on his feet. He's very good in link-up play. He can play with this current Arsenal and Mikel Arteta's tactics. He can link up with attacking midfielders, player like Martin Odegaard, and he has played alongside Martin Odegaard at Real Sociedad. So this is a very technically gifted striker. But you know what? Newcastle, they are aware that Alexander Isak is a hot prospect in the market. They're never going to let him go. They're never going to let him go, and he's not going to come cheap at all. And but there are rumors, according to Transfer Live, that Arsenal are looking at prospectively making a move for Alexander Isak. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next summer. I'm not aware, but it's a rumor. There's or speculation that Arsenal are being linked with Alexander Isak, but it's going to be a very difficult deal to do, as Newcastle, they are not easy negotiators. So I don't think that is happening anytime soon. But Alexander Isak is a player that I would love Arsenal to have. He's a player that will fit in perfectly. You know, recently, these big money moves, especially in terms of a striker, you know, there is this pressure that is always on their that is always placed on their price tag. You know, players come to perform, you know, but fans do not give them the time to develop and show what the stuff that they are made of. And at the end of the day, mentally they become affected mentally by the price tag put upon them. You know, there's a case with Nicola Pepe. He came out to say that, you know, he wasn't performing according to his standard. You know, the fans were judging him by his price tag. That if he had come for 20 million pounds, maybe things would have been different. And I hear all that. I get that point. So Alexander Isak is not the sort of player you would want to come to your club and give time to see if he's going to be. He's, you know, he's just that prospect. He's just that striker that you need. He's guaranteed goals. He will give you goals. Isak will score goals. You'll be guaranteed 19-20 goals a season. He scores different types of goals. He can score with his head, left and right. He can move with the ball. He has speed. He's got pace. You know, he's got all the qualities needed by a team, you know, to challenge. Because it is true that Arsenal needs to be perfect this season to compete with Manchester City, a juggernaut in Pep Guardiola. So, Alexander Isak, what do you think about Isak? I'm not saying that Arsenal are going for him this season. There are speculations, there are rumors, but for me, I don't see it happening. But I think Isak is the best number 9 out there at the moment. All right? Okay, let's look at Julian Alvarez. You know, Julian Alvarez has recently been unstable at Manchester City, a serial winner. You know, he's a player that has won the World Cup, Copa America. You know, he has won a lot of trophies for Manchester City. Though he was at the at the Olympics, I think they lost to France in the quarterfinals. So he's a player that does not want to sit on the bench. He wants game time, and of course, you cannot expect to get proper game time when you have Erling Haaland in your team. So justifiably, he wants the move, and he's a very hot prospect out there. There are a lot of clubs that are looking at him. Who wouldn't want Julian Alvarez in their team? But if I want to voice my opinion, we've signed a few players for Man City for some time now, like Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, you know, and it is seeming like we are signing leftovers, players that and do not really feature in the Man City team. They want to let go and want to sign them, and that is the reason why I don't really feel comfortable with Julian Alvarez coming to Arsenal. You know, we signed Gabriel Jesus, we signed Zinchenko. They've not really given us what we want. You know, so if we really want to challenge, go toe to toe with Man City and surpass Man City, then we shouldn't be taking their leftovers. I'm no doubt Julian Alvarez is a quality player, you know, but we cannot keep signing Manchester City's leftovers, players that they do not want, players that are not guaranteed a starting spot, because evidently if Julian Alvarez comes to Arsenal, of course, is going to be our starting player, our top striker. So for me, I don't see Julian Alvarez as a perfect fit for Arsenal. Not doubting his qualities, fantastic player, a serial winner, but just for that reason, I'm saying no to this one. So the next one is Victor Gyökeres, brilliant player. Although he plays in the Portuguese league, not many fans have seen how good this guy is. He had a stint at Coventry City before he moved to Sporting Lisbon. He scores loads and loads of goals, and he's got pace. He's very fast. You know, they recently played a final against FC Porto, although he didn't score in that game. But you could see his movement, how he moves with the ball. You know, he's not the sort of striker that is shy with the ball and gets the ball and passes and just wants to score goals alone. Of course, scoring goals is what a striker does typically. But in this case, Victor Gyökeres is the sort of player that will play with the team. And that is the sort of player that Mikel Arteta really wants. A striker that plays with the team. You know, and one thing that is of major concern is that since Aubameyang and Lacazette left Arsenal, Aubameyang, which was the last one, Arsenal has not been able to get a proper number 9, and it's of a major concern. See how much we've been able, see how much we've evolved. We've evolved to a point where you can be so confident that if we have that number 9, if we have that striker, we can go all the way to win the title and also win trophies. You know, so it is very important that we talk about this. So, but what are they talking about? It's not going to come cheap at all. You know, they keep talking about a region of 80, 90 million euros. But what I foresee, what I am thinking is that if a proper suitor comes for Victor Gyökeres, Sporting Lisbon will be willing to do business, you know, and they will be willing to lower their demands for the player. And there are not much clubs that are linked with Victor Gyökeres. It's not just Arsenal, and I don't think there are other clubs that are looking at Victor Gyökeres, unlike Julian Alvarez, who's got Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Arsenal, and other clubs. And of course, yeah, so it's important that we look at these players. You know, you can keep tinkering and thinking, what do you need to win the title? Have you looked at the striker department? Because it is very important to look at that, because we've not had a striker for a very long time. So if truly as a manager you are thinking and saying, you are puzzling, scratching your head to say, what do I need to do to win the title, you know, to take the title from Man City? Look at the striking department. We need a proper number 9. Okay, yes, we cannot keep moaning about what happened last season. Our defense was not the reason we lost to we got just 1 point from Fulham home and away last season. Our defense was not the reason we lost to West Ham United at home. It is not because of the defense that we lost to Aston Villa at the Emirates. These games were pivotal to conceding the title or losing the title to Man City last season. All right, so it's important that we look at the striking department very critically. Another striker that is on my list is Victor Osimhen. You know, of course, it's very clear. It's no longer news that Napoli have, let me use that word, banished him from their squad. You know, they have a new gaffer right now in Antonio Conte, and he is believed to have resorted to leaving Victor Osimhen out of his plans, away from his plans. And so definitely Victor Osimhen is not going to be playing for excuse me, he's not going to be playing for Napoli next season. So and he's been linked with Chelsea, of course, sometimes Arsenal. There are rumors, and of course PSG, but recently PSG have pulled out of the race. He initially agreed personal terms with PSG, but Napoli weren't willing to lower the asking price. So I think PSG have other commitments. So I think they've recently cooled interest in Victor Osimhen. I'm not really a fan of Victor Osimhen, but I think he's a very fantastic striker. He's a fighter. He's a player that likes to fight for the ball. That he's hungry. He has hunger for goals. And he's 25, so he still has a lot left in him. I think it's not going to be a bad idea if Arsenal also look at Victor Osimhen. So I don't know. What do you think about that as well? It's important that we look at these players. And lastly on my list is and Victor Osimhen is valued at about around 110 million. But the thing is, one thing I believe this summer transfer is just go for the player. None of these players I've mentioned has been in the lips of Arsenal fans so much, like apart from Victor Gyökeres, you know. But Arsenal have not really gone in to say, okay, we want this striker. You know, we keep talking. They keep talking about price tags. If you try to negotiate with these clubs, of course you will arrive at an agreement. You will reach a proper agreement. So that's my take on it. So it's not the price tag. It's not the issue. It's about negotiating. It's about being in talks. So how much have we been in talks with these players to want their player? So that's another point to think about. And the last player on my list is Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney is a proven striker who scores goals for even mid-table teams in the Premier League. How much more a team like Arsenal? So he's a player that I'm also giving a shout. And he's a player that has brilliant moments. His size, his presence, his physique is going to be a very, very huge factor and a great addition to Arsenal's attack. And yeah, I don't know what you think about it. Let's discuss. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. What do you think? Which striker do you think Arsenal should go all out for this summer? If we're going to do that, we don't know. We're not sure if they're going to do that. So share your thoughts in the comments, people. Thank you for being a part of this video. Don't forget to like the video, people. Please like the video. It costs literally nothing. It costs nothing to like this video. It costs nothing to subscribe to the channel. Okay, let's keep building the community. Thank you for being a part of the show. I'll see you again. Peace.